Warhammer Plus is getting ready to roll out. And from the community perspective, as Games Workshop continues to dominate markets, what is your opinion on this? Now, we started to see this in motion. We started to see a little bit about this a couple of months back, the duality of when it was announced that their subscription streaming service is on its way. We also saw on the back end suppression of various YouTube channels and content creators on YouTube making amazing 40K videos, the GW Studio and Games Workshop pulling them on board officially. And I felt like in that moment, certainly Games Workshop suppressing the community, suppressing fans is nothing new. I was excited to see them giving a platform to some of these content creators because now with a budget, now with the green light, now with the okay and the in-house resources of Games Workshop, look at what they're producing on their own for free, their own time, their own love and dedication of the hobby. Now with that momentum of GW behind them, I was really excited from that perspective. Is it worth a dedicated platform? Well, let's hold off on that for a moment. Now, to me, this is what it feels like. Games Workshop sees YouTube. They see the fan content. They see the fact that there are unboxings, there are fan videos, there are battle reports, there are these amazing animations and videos that people are producing that certainly Games Workshop benefits from. And those of us in the community, we love 40K for the narrative, the opportunities, the friendships, the amazing battles. This idea of a revenue stream doesn't really cross our mind. So we're producing this stuff. Games Workshop is looking and saying, we're getting the soft credit for that. We're getting the hype train. We're getting the momentum. We're getting the fact that someone sees these videos, gets immediately pumped, goes out, buy more Space Marines. But that's not enough. How do we make money off it? How do we make every single, whatever your currency is, off of it? And I'm not talking about the fine line between enforcing copyright and that they have to be draconian on some aspects. I've been an advocate saying their IP is so strong and certain things they have to protect and certain things they have to do. And I've always even erred a little bit on the side of caution saying, I can understand that. I can't understand the time they went after that author for talking about Space Marines because you cannot copyright Space Marines. That's why they changed all the names to the various factions in 40K so they can copyright it. But now from that perspective, yes, absolutely. I understand they have to support their IP and go after their IP and protect their IP. But this just feels like they want to charge you for what YouTube does for free. They're looking and saying, essentially, we're going to make our own YouTube service and we're going to charge premium money for it. Now, is that ultimately going to deliver? The idea of value in my mind isn't so much does something hold value. You might watch one or two videos and that holds tremendous value. It's hard to say if something is worth it. I mean, we're all in this hobby together. If certain people knew how much I spent on my 40K armies, I'd be in a lot of trouble. I'd have to move in with one of you guys. I mean, if Mrs. Fritz really knew, I'd be in a lot of trouble. So from that perspective, even knowing that, I look and I say, all this 40K stuff, it's not about the money I've spent. It's about the good times, the great times, the fun that I've had, the opportunities that 40K has created, just in terms of friendships and being able to roll some dice and have some fun. That has tremendous value. That is priceless. Someone from the outside would look and say, well, you're just nuts. You're paying all this money for little toys, and then on top of it, you have to build and paint it. And then I look back and my one buddy, I'm like, dude, you're nuts for everything you're spending on golf. Like that's crazy. And like I've spent 1/10 what you've spent. So the idea of value is very subjective and it's very open. What I judge value on is a constant delivery, a constant presence in your life, enriching your life in whatever way. So I feel like this Warhammer Plus streaming aspect, right now it's all on YouTube for free and it's adding value for all of us. If Games Workshop is going to monetize that, If it delivers constant value and it's something that you can pop on and see every now and then and see a regular release schedule and really have it a part of your gaming life, then absolutely. The question in my mind is twofold. And then we'll get to the miniature. This is the interesting shift where it shows me it's all about the cash. It's all about the cash based on the free miniature. So bank that thought for a minute. My fear is that Games Workshop is going to lock up their subscription channel, their own version of YouTube here, push that out. And they're not only going to attract the top talent, nothing wrong with that. I hope those content creators get paid, get brought on the payroll, and produce fantastic stuff. But I think they're going to suppress the non-plus creators. I think they're going to go after a lot of people on YouTube. I think they're going to go after not just enforcing IP, but essentially be like, you can't do that because it can only be on our Warhammer Plus revenue stream. And my fear in that is it's going to be the duality of mass suppression followed by the fact that, are they really going to run it? Going back to this value thing, are they really going to run it with fresh content? Are they opening up a new chapter of their IP? Are they opening up a complementary stream to enjoying their universe? Outside of the physical games and the physical models, the only thing that I believe is fully supported, the Black Library novels and the literary works and the audiobooks and the audio works that you buy into, that value you spend, that's there. That's Mass Forge World put aside for a second. It's kind of its own unique entity. I feel like the books that I buy, the audios that I listen to, that aspect of 40K, yes, they're making money. I want them to make money, but it is so well supported. It is so well done. It's a valuable part of my life. I'm skeptical about this. I don't think they're going to have Plus be to that level, a complementing service to their flagship of 40K and Age of Sigmar. I think it's just going to be a generic revenue stream. And I think they're looking at you guys who are the target audience of 40K, not us older graybeards. I think they're looking and saying, look, we get them locked in for $6 a month. They might use it. They might not use it. It's just a recurring revenue stream for a year, 2, 3 years. We don't actually have to do anything. We're just getting that free money. It makes sense. Subscription services, Netflix, Hulu, all that type of stuff, they have to jump on board. So it makes sense from the technological perspective, but I just don't think it's going to be, it just feels like specialist games online. That's from the perspective of where it's going from. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. My plan, now this is the duality of the miniature. Do I want to sign up for a year? Is it a lot of money? That's subjective also. We're not going to put it on that. I could try it out for a little while, but what's interesting, that shows me they're just expecting you to subscribe, never really use the service, and they know if you don't really use it, they don't have to put content out there. The fact that the exclusive miniatures, you have to be a member for a year to get them. Games Workshop has always done this correct. And I feel like the last kind of piece of like respecting the fans was at certain times, if you buy something limited or if you buy onto White Dwarf or an event, they produce limited miniatures, but they give you to them up front. Buy this issue of White Dwarf, get the free miniature. It's that reward. Yes, you're buying it for the miniature. Maybe you're subscribing for it. It's a nice bonus, but you always got that up front. Now it's like, no, you got to be in there for the whole year. You got to be paying every month and then forget about it, get the free miniature, and then have another year and forget about it. They're backloading it. Is that the term, as opposed to front loading it? That tells me the focus isn't, hey, let's deliver more amazing Warhammer content. It's let's create our own YouTube. Let's charge for it. And how can we hook people in for the entire year and lock them into it? And it might not be a lot of money depending on your life situation, $60 for a year or USD, whatever it's going to be. But also from that perspective, times the masses. And especially if they suppress YouTube, all of us that get our 40K fix on some of that animation, now I've got to pay for it. So that's my perspective. I'm still on the fence a little bit about it. I think if it is, and look, it's still rolling out. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. They produce a lot of great content. If it is similar to how they run the novels, the Black Library, the audio, yeah, then absolutely it would be worth it. Absolutely. There's a lot. If it's active and there's new stuff every week and it's something that you can interact and check in with. But on the other side, if it looks like it's just another cash grab and someone's sitting there saying, look, we've got all this YouTube stuff for free. We get the free advertising. Now we want the money. That's the question. Now I'm going to leave you with this. Your thoughts on this perspective. And I don't know how you would analyze, to be fair, I don't know how you would analyze these types of metrics. They can look and say, if we ban YouTube, if we suppress YouTube and we sign up by the order of the Inquisition content creators on our Plus stream and we charge money for that, they can say, well, it'll grow by this level, it'll support this, we'll get this type of revenue, that kind of hard revenue. The soft revenue, if they suppress YouTube and they miss out on the fan content creators that you're watching, that you get pumped, that you then go out and buy that box set, that Space Marine box set, or you watch that playthrough of a game and you get pumped and you want to buy those units, there's no way to track that. How does GW figure that out? The free advertising, the free goodwill of the community, as long as you can enforce the IP, looking the other way and let the community run things and produce things. I could see this taking a dent into their revenue stream where people are like, I'm not going to pay for it and I'm not going to watch it on YouTube because it's not there anymore. So I'm not going to buy as many models, or I'm not going to get pumped, or I'm not going to get excited. It might take away from that aspect. Your thoughts on it, and it is interesting to see GW innovate and jump in on that, but I think we've reached the point where everyone has some sort of streaming content, streaming service to sign up for, and that's just the logical next step in terms of monetization. I don't know if I necessarily appreciate the suppression on YouTube, but I certainly hope the content creators that they've signed on, I'm happy for them. I want them to have massive success. I want GW to throw at them a lot of money so they can continue producing that content, contributing to community, and really, rightfully so, all the time and effort that they've put in to get compensated and paid for that, so they can go buy some more models. So they can buy some 40K stuff, and we get kind of that good aspect of the community working together.